Hahnemann's observations regarding miasms involved in chronic diseases, relating it with history of infectious diseases, would have been celebrated as a revolutionary invention in medical history. Had anybody, be it Hahnemann himself, his followers, or scientists, taken up the task of explaining it in scientific terms. Had anybody asked the question how an infectious disease can cause lifelong residual effects in the organism even after the infection is over, everything would have been clear. It would have been obvious that infectious agents can produce lifelong residual effects in the form of chronic diseases only through antibodies generated in the body against infectious agents. Such a realization would have enabled the modern medical community to approach the so-called autoimmune diseases from a different perspective. They would have understood that so-called autoimmune diseases are caused by off-target actions of antibodies generated in the body against infections, and not against autoantigens. While introducing the concept of miasms of infectious diseases as the causative factor of chronic diseases, Hahnemann was actually thinking far ahead of his contemporary science. Modern science has only just started to realize the role of antibodies as a major class of disease producing molecules, which were so far considered only as defense molecules of our body. Recent studies of off-target inhibitions produced by antibodies as a major causative factor in chronic diseases so far called as autoimmune diseases shows that Hahnemann was thinking 200 years ahead of his time while introducing the concept of miasms. Kindly read the book Chronic Diseases once again carefully, avoiding interpreters. Hahnemann actually said, these three miasms were caused by these infectious diseases. And, these three miasms in turn cause other diverse types of chronic diseases. According to Hahnemann, SARA is never acquired unless the person is at least once infected by itch disease. Miasm of psychosis is never acquired unless the person is at least once infected by gonorrhea. Miasm of syphilis is never acquired unless the person is at least once infected with syphilis disease. Actual confusion is regarding which is cause and which is effect. It is obvious from the statements of Hahnemann that he considered human beings acquiring miasm of SARA only by getting infected with itch disease. How an infectious agent can produce a chronic disposition even after the infectious disease is cured is the subject of my inquiries. According to me, it can happen only through the antibodies generated in the organism against those infectious substances, which contain protein molecules alien to the organism. These antibodies remain lifelong and can bind to off-target biological molecules, thereby producing diverse types of chronic diseases. Hahnemann called this pathogenic factors as miasms, as he was not much aware of antibodies and immunology during his period. Hahnemann. Thank you for listening this video. Made on the basis of ideas put forward by Chandran Nambiar KC, author of the book Redefining Homeopathy. You can contact him to mail similimum@homeopathomit.com or WhatsApp 944-652-0252 for further details.